50, 45, there goes Davis.
Oh my God!
Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Oh, welcome in everyone to a brand new edition of the Dream Wager, episode 435. We are presented by Viva Tequila Seltzer. A little more on them in just a little, but birthday boy, how you doing, kid? Welcome in. This is Friday edition of the Dream Wager. A little late, but happy birthday, E. How you doing, kid?
Yeah. Thank you, Dill. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Sorry for other people out there. You know, we usually go live Thursday night to drop the EP, bright and early Friday morning, but it was my birthday, so I apologize for that. But we're here, we're live Friday afternoon for another EP, Dill. Let's get into it.
Big plans last night, huh, kid? View was looking good. How was the food? Everything good?
Shout out the girlfriend. She took me out. Nice. Amazing dinner. Had a great time today. We had a nice little lunch and whatnot.
Oh, boy.
So just enjoying ourselves, enjoying myself. So, thankful.
Little extended weekend. We got Labor Day weekend, got your birthday. I love it. I was on Snapchat. You know how they have those memories. It was about 5-6 years ago. We went to AC.
Atlantic City, baby. Let's not get
it was some good times. Let's just say that, kid. But I don't know if we can do that anymore. But glad you had a good. We can, but I don't know if our bodies can adjust to it anymore. But glad you had a good day. Weekend is huge. We got a great episode for you. Week 1 of college football is here. Glad the UFC took off. Smart of them, because I think everyone's going to be tuned in for week 1 in college. I wish I was in Morgantown. I mean, those bastards at Penn State. Oh, my God. It's going to be amazing in Morgantown. The vibes are extremely high. We got some news. Brandon Ayuk got a deal. Steph Curry got a deal, so we'll talk about that. We're down to our last division is the NFC West. We will take care of the Rams and the San Francisco 49ers. Like I said, week 1, college football, I got a load of plays, even though the start's been kicking me right in the fucking teeth, but we're going to keep on trucking along. We got a 16-game slate or 15. We had a game earlier in the day. So 15 games on the diamond, and then Clayton Clark and Angel Reese a little later in the show. But I do want to start in the land of misfits. Dallas, Texas, the Cowboys, they signed Dalvin Cook to a backup role. I mean, having him and Zeke, as much as of a fan I am of Zeke Elliott, I mean, they probably have the worst running back room in the division at this point.
Definitely so, though. I think so. We knew all along, ever since, Tony Pollard left, signed with Tennessee, the fact that they didn't really, draft or, draft any, running back high to be like, what, that's going to be the week 1 starter. Or they didn't really sign anybody in the offseason. They brought back Zeke. And now with just, basically a week left in the offseason, they signed Dalvin Cook. Don't get me wrong. Dalvin Cook, for the price, for the timing, is a good signing. But it's not going to move the needle. It's not like tickets are getting punched in like Cowboys to win the division today. Absolutely not. So, I feel like Jerry Jones and the Cowboys front office kind of struck out on this, knowing that you had I'm not going to say Tony Pollard was just that, say what you want, but he was pretty damn good. I understand he might have not been what the Cowboys was looking for or wanted, but overall, he's better than what you have right now. So I think, the Dallas front office definitely slacked and missed on that end. But hey, I think Dalvin Cook with Zeke Elliott, you got, the kid you drafted last year, I think Deuce Vaughn, who I think could be electric. You got the Turpin as well. He'll be in the mix. I just want to see who's going to be the real RB1. Is it going to be Zeke? Is it going to be Dalvin Cook by week 5? Is it going to be Deuce Vaughn? Right now, it's interesting in Dallas.
Yeah, I think it because he did get signed to the practice squad and to try to get him up to speed for week 1. They said Dalvin Cook. I mean, I saw it last year. I mean, I like Dalvin Cook, but I don't know if he has that much left in the tank. And you see everyone in the division, they're making moves. Giants go out and get Devin Singletary, Washington, Austin Eckler. The Eagles go out and get Saquon Barkley. Everyone is doing things. And then here comes Dallas, and it's Ezekiel and Dalvin Cook. It's just, I don't know. They're just kind of past their prime. I do like the guys. They were good when they were in their prime, but they're a little past their prime. I'm glad that they got some depth, but it just shows me that and usually they're good. Last few years, Dallas has been good at drafting players, but running back room, I don't know. I still question that as well. So, I wanted to touch on that real quick. Other news, Russ, he will be the starter. Mike Tomlin named Russ the starter. No surprise there, I don't think. Also, and very, I think, interesting, even though he got hurt, he still was named the starter. Gerard Mayo came out and said Jacoby Brissett will be the starter versus the Bengals in week 1. I guess my question to you, two-parter. 1, are you surprised Jacoby's getting it week 1? And 2, when do you think Drake May gets his shot?
I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed. This is like the Patriot way move. I understand it. As a Patriots fan, I understand the move. But I could also be disappointed by it. Because one thing I could honestly say is that I've been saying it for months now. We're not going nowhere fast. Our expectations for this season is 0. If we get to 6 wins, it's an accomplishment. We get to 5 wins, I'm going to take that as a positive season, Phil. Why go out there with we know what Jacoby Brissett is. We know what he is still. He's a serviceable quarterback, solid backup, could win you a game here or there, but he's not going to lead you nowhere. Why not just start with Drake May? The future starts right now. The future starts with the kid. So why prolong that? Why just throw Jacoby Brissett and be like, what if? No, throw the kid in there now. Let's see what he is. Develop him now. So 2-3 years down the road, we already know what we got. Not come week 8. Oh, let's see what we got. No, let's see what we got right now. Yeah. We're not gonna Jacoby Brissett. He's not leading us to play a division title. He's not leading us to the AFC conference. He's not. So why not throw the kid out there week 1?
Yeah, I mean, besides Michael Penix Jr., who we all thought was going to sit a year or two, Drake May is the only one not starting out of the quarterback class this year. Caleb Williams is starting, Jaden Daniels, JJ is obviously hurt, and then Bo Nix got the starting job in Denver as well.
I want to give him at least more than 50% shot to start.
100%. And then, honestly, the reason I guess I'm more confused is because Gerard Mayo came out and said Drake May's looked better than Jacoby Brissett in practice, in camp, in these preseason games. But then you go ahead and throw us a curveball and give it. And I agree. I think you hit it on the head in the beginning. It's the Patriot way. But 2 things could also be true at the same time. You could also start him and gain a little momentum now. See what you got out of the kid. I mean, what's it going to do if he starts week 7 or 8 and you guys are already out of it? What's the point at that point? That's my question.
To me, might as well give him the reps now. Like I said, if Jacoby Myers leads to 7-0, power to him. By all means, Jacoby Brissett, shut out you. But dude, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
we're not gonna be 5-2 come week 8, week 7. We're not. We're not gonna be a winning team. If we are, Gerard Mayo and Jacoby Brissett, I apologize. I would love for us to do those, but still. Realistically, I'm a realist. That's just not going to happen. So why not just throw the kid out there and get him the most reps he could possibly get and then have him ready to at least compete next season?
It's a tough schedule, too, because I'm looking at it and I'm sitting here saying...
A more reason to start the kid. The future starts now. It doesn't start week 8. It doesn't start next year. It starts now.
And I think you're setting him up for failure because you go in, when are you going to start him? I mean, on the road against the Bengals is tough. Then you're home against Seattle, which is no gimme. Then you're on the road the next 2 games against the Jets and the 49ers.
Off the rip, deal is Jacoby named the starter. He has to start at least the first 5-6 games.
At least.
That's the least. You got to at least give him, all right, you got this many games if you don't at least perform at a decent level, this one will go to Drake May.
I
guarantee that conversation has at least been had if it took up to 10 days prior for a quarterback decision to be made.
I think it's like you have till week 6. After that Houston game where you go on the road and I think you play in either London or Germany.
If you're 1-5 and we're going to Houston, you got to go with the kid. That's all.
Yeah, I agree. I think by week 6, maybe the first month, Jacoby Brissett will play. But they got to get Drake May. And I think this lease has to be short. You just don't draft a kid this high to sit him. I understand you got to learn, but he's not learning behind Patrick Mahomes. He's learning behind Jacoby Brissett. No disrespect. I like Jacoby.
No, I understand. But look at the perspective the Packers take. They draft a quarterback late in the 20s, a la Aaron Rodgers, a la Jordan Love. They didn't take Jordan Love or Aaron Rodgers 3rd overall and let him sit. They drafted him in the first round, deeper in the first round, low 20s picks, and then they sat a year or two. Drake May was the 3rd overall pick, people. No. Let the kids start.
Yeah, they're doing him injustice. Maybe not off to the best start, Gerard Mayo. We will see. Sticking with the quarterbacks, though, the Browns, they've restructured the contract for Deshaun Watson, converting his $44.79 million into a signing bonus. It's creating $35.832 million in cap space. It has now Cleveland has now over $62 million in cap space, the most in the entire NFL. I'm just convinced the salary cap in the NFL just doesn't exist. It's just not real. So it's kind of crazy. Shout out them and hitting the bank today, $44 million or something like that.
Yeah, no, shout out to Deshaun Watson for honestly taking a little bit of a discount. I understand it sounds good because he gets $44 million up front, but he gets a lot of that taken out in the back end. So, shout out for Deshaun Watson for, being man enough to be like, you know what? I'm not at the level y'all thought y'all was getting at the 5-year, $230 million quarterback level. But I'm still, worth at least 40. So I'll take a little bit of a haircut and y'all could give me that in advance. So shout out to Deshaun Watson for, making that move, possibly getting his team better deal. I know you're not about to like what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it, Dale. Hassan Reddick still hasn't signed. Cleveland just freed up a lot of cap space. We know Cleveland love that defense. We know Cleveland love to go after the quarterback. Who has some of the best quarterbacks in all of football, Dale? The AFC North. How are you able to win the AFC North? You're going to have to get after the quarterback, Dale. They just freed up that money. Who's looking for a contract, Dale? Say it with me. Hassan Reddick. Watch out, people. That's all. Watch out.
I'll say this. I love your enthusiasm. There's the idea. And that was my next question. I was going to say, credit Deshaun because I don't think a lot of people would expected him to take this and take a lot up front and not, and kind of betting on himself again. So, with a top 5 talented up and down roster like the Cleveland Browns, now they have the opportunity to go get a Hassan Reddick, to go get another talent, whether it's on offense, whether it's on defense, whatever they could do. But they're definitely going to go get someone, especially if they're struggling early. They're going to go and get someone by the trade deadline. So, Deshaun Watson kind of helping the Cleveland Browns out. We'll go to the NFC, back to the NFC East, the Eagles. James Bradbury, bum corner. He's on injured reserve now. He suffered an injury. Thankfully, it won't require surgery, but he will be out for the next 4 to 6 weeks, they're saying. So it's definitely the first 4 games, but tough blow to the secondary, but that's why you go and draft those 2 corners.
Yeah, if they didn't spend those first couple round picks on those cornerbacks, I would have said the Eagles are in trouble because we know how disastrous that secondary was, not just all season, the second half of last season. So I understand it's a blow, but they still got C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They still got the 2 rookies there. So, they're still pretty good at the position. They're definitely going to be better than they were last season. But, this is definitely a loss with Bradbury. But hopefully he comes back and he's there to assure that secondary in the second half of the season when they're most likely going to need him most.
Yeah, so right now you have Reed Blankenship, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, like you said. Let's see the other corners. You got Nakobe Dean, obviously. Darius Slay, Quinion Mitchell. that kid that they drafted. He probably out of Toledo. He was probably the best corner in the draft. And then they get Cooper DeJean as well from Iowa. So they do get some reinforcements, but they're young. Stepping in a tough division like the NFC East, it's going to be a tough division for 2 rookies. But like we just talked about earlier with Drake May, they're going out there and getting the experience right now. And then burying the lead here, but I wanted to end with them just because we will be talking about them. We finally get a deal. The 49ers and Brandon Ayuk, they reached an agreement on Thursday, 4-year extension, $120 million deal. In the end, Brandon Ayuk accepted the same deal that has been on the table since August 12th. You know, his holdout did not alter any part of the deal. 4 years, $120 million. So he took the same deal that was presented to him previous weeks. So the holdout really didn't accomplish anything, in my opinion, but it's done.
The only thing I can honestly say is it probably accomplished another 2.5 weeks of vacation. You know,
yeah.
So no.
But he didn't get more money though, to be honest, because the Patriots were offering him a lot more money.
Yeah, we was trying to get him, but at the end of the day, I think this is a good deal. Honestly, a great deal for both sides. Brandon Ayuk has top 10-ish talent. I'm not gonna say he's a top 10 wide receiver, but at times he's definitely a top 10 important weapon for the 49ers. So I think this is a must-have for the San Francisco 49ers. I said at the beginning of training camp, I don't think the 49ers are Super Bowl contenders without Brandon Ayuk, just because I feel like once again, Deebo Samuel tends to get hurt. George Kittle, he come Super Bowl, come playoff time, it's a hit or miss if he's gonna show up or not. You cannot just rely on CMC to carry you the whole way. Don't get me wrong, Brock Purdy is that dude. Don't get me wrong, I like Brock Purdy. I think he's special, honestly. I think he's special. But with Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, CMC, Brock Purdy, Trent blocking at that left side with that defense, that makes ya a Super Bowl contender right now. But without Brandon Ayuk, I just don't think y'all was able to repeat the success y'all had previous seasons. Now, let's see, Dill. Now let's see.
And I'll say this, I think he's the best pure receiver on the team, because Deebo is more of a gadget guy. We see him in the backfield. He kind of is in the slot a little bit. Yeah,
Brandon
he's a wide receiver.
Is the number one.
He's the true wide receiver on this team. Yes, 100%. And we'll talk about his odds in just a little. He is making $30 million just like Tyreek Hill. So he's in that top 5 to 6 range per year, which I think he deserves. He is a number one on one of the best, arguably, according to the odds, the best team in the NFC. So we'll see. I'm glad they got the deal done, but you mentioned it. Trent Williams now. They have to go and get him done before week 1. Do you think they get the deal done by week 1? Because they did save some money. I think on this Brandon Ayuk deal, they did save some money.
Yeah. It's not like they went up from their number. So now I think this is when Trent Williams' deal gets done. Maybe like a 1 or 2 year extension, because he is a little later in his career. I say like a 2-year extension, maybe something friendly. I'll say he takes a little bit of discount. I'm not going to say he's going to go try to be the highest paid offensive lineman. He already done that once. 49ers take care of him. I think he's just looking for an extension to have more of that guarantee money. So I'm going to say a 2-year, $50 million, $30 million guaranteed. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up real quick the highest paid offensive lineman in the league. I know Penny Sewell, he's making $28 million a year. We just saw Worf's Buccaneers. He signed a 5-year, $140 million deal. I love him, and I understand your point. Trent Williams is on the back end, but he's still the best offensive tackle in the game.
You're not about to give him a 5 years, 140 like Tristan's Worth got. You're not. So you got to give something that's gonna. You got to pay him for what he's gonna do, not what he's gonna what have he done. Got to pay him with what he's gonna do moving forward. And I honestly think moving forward, you're gonna have 2 great, possibly all pro years for Trent Williams. After that, I don't know, but I'm willing to negotiate 2 years, $50 million. To me, 49ers should have that on the table right now.
Yeah, very interesting. I think that's the oil that makes the engine go a little bit is Trent Williams. You just gave CMC, a nice extension as well, and he's the guy that's going to protect CMC and your quarterback, who you have to pay next season. This team is spending so much money. I don't know what they're going to do next year. We'll see, or they'll just convert everything into a signing bonus, like we just saw with who did we just talk about? Obviously, just Deshaun Watson. So yeah, we'll see there. But yeah, I'm glad that they got the deal done in San Francisco. Let's go over to the gridiron real quick. Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry, they agreed to a 1-year, $62.6 million extension. I'll keep him in Golden State till the 2026-2027 season. He is guaranteed, Steph Curry, $178 million over the next 3 years. He surpasses $500 million in career earnings on the court, joining LeBron and Kevin Durant. Because of the over 38 rule, the 1-year extension is the maximum that Golden State could offer. I know a lot of people, there were a lot of rumblings thinking, they saw what happened with Clay. Hey, maybe Steph could see a future outside, but what Steph has done, not just like off the court. We know he's the greatest shooter of all time. He's the greatest Golden State Warrior of all time. Not talking about that, but off the court, what he's done in the Bay Area, how he's spoken about the organization. He wants to end his career with Golden State. And let me be frank, he is significantly underpaid for what he's done on the court and off the court. LeBron, too. Those are like two that are always underpaid, in my opinion. But I'm glad he got the deal done. I always thought he was going to go back to Golden State. I know there were rumblings like he could get an offer somewhere else. But if you heard him and his wife, they don't want to leave the Bay Area. He wants to retire a Warrior, and I think that's what's going to happen, kid.
Yeah, Dell. Shout out Golden State for taking care of Steph, and shout out Steph for wanting to finish career in Golden State, Dell. And I'm going to just touch on one subject. We already know Steph Curry greatness. I think the NBA should change the rules, Dell.
Oh.
I think Steph Curry deserves, I'm going to say 20 to 25% of the Golden State ownership. No, hear me out.
I agree.
In 2010,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure Steph was drafted in 2009. In 2010, the Golden State Warriors sold for $450 million. Steph career earnings is over $500 million.
Yeah.
Golden State Warriors today is worth $7.7 billion.
Yep.
Thanks to majority Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson.
3 Hall of Famers.
If you don't want to give Steph Curry 25% of the Golden State Warriors, that's okay. But give him 15 and give Draymond and Klay the other 10. Yeah. I'm telling you right now, I think they got to change
even though Klay left?
Are you worth $7.7 billion without him? No.
Probably not. Probably not.
You're worth more.
But he left.
You don't have 4 championships without Klay Thompson, Dylan. Do you have 4 championships with, put it this, if it wasn't for the Splash Brothers, do you have 4 championships? Yes or no?
Probably not. No. Most likely not.
Without Steph Curry, do you have 4 I think that earns you 25% of the company. That's just my opinion. I think $66 million is a great number for 99.9% of the people in the world. But if you're Stephen Curry, I think you deserve about 20% of the team. He did that deal. He was drafted in 2009. The team sold for $450 million the year after. The team is valued today damn near $8 billion. And that happened on that man's shoulders and shooting ability. All I'm saying is he deserves ownership, not just a nice extension.
Yeah, I agree. I think 100% they deserve some ownership in the team for what they've accomplished and skyrocketed the organization to what they're worth today. I think it would be a fireable offense to everyone in that Golden State ownership room if they were going to let Steph walk. If they let that man walk and get into another jersey, it's a fireable offense.
I think you lose $1 billion because look at how many jersey sales you're going to lose. There's going to be kids, fans all over the world buying Golden State Warrior Steph Curry jerseys for the next 50 years. You got to understand, there's people still buying Michael Jordan Bulls jerseys. There's still people buying Nuggets, Carmelo jerseys. There's still people buying Kobe jerseys, 8 or 24. The Lakers are making money off that for eternity. The Golden State Warriors are going to make billions of dollars for the rest of eternity off the number 30.
Yeah, he's a legend, and it just pains me to think about Steph Curry because the Knicks could have drafted him. I don't like to think about that kid. I truly don't, because he was sitting right there, and obviously I don't think we knew he was going to be this dominant of a player, but he led the nation at a small school in Davison, the lead the country in points. I was watching him knock out Oklahoma in the Sweet 16 against the Griffin brothers. I'm sitting here like, this kid's a sharpshooter. I'm sitting here like, I didn't know he was going to be the best shooter of all time, but damn, the fucking Knicks.
And I was sitting here like, I don't know, but that boy Blake could dunk it. So
exactly. Oh man, but that's all the news I got. Actually, I don't. Real quick, I forgot that just happened. Not while we were recording, but right before, a guy that I wanted. It was a pain in my ass, but TJ McConnell, I am happy for him. 4 years, $45 million extension for the Pacers. Woo! They're taking care of their own, He averaged 10 points in the regular season, 12 points in the playoffs, and
14 against the Knicks.
Chill. But it's not even just what he did, it's the hustle, it's the grit, it's the defense that he played. I mean, that is a guy you want on your team. I'm happy he got taken care of. I just hate that he's on the Pacers.
No, I know. Shout out TJ, man. I think he definitely deserves that contract. That's a man who's a little underpaid. He should have got a little more, but shout out TJ. Nice deal for him, man.
Yeah, 100% there. Always taking care of their own. Before we get to our props for the NFL future, we got baseball, college football as well. A quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. It is no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing around a golf with the boys or a new flavor, coconut, it doesn't matter. Our flavors pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid. I wanted to end with Brandon Ayuk because I wanted to start with them. We will continue our two-a-days in the Bay Area. Get how I went from Brandon Ayuk to Golden State, and we're going to stay in the Bay Area. It's all the planning, kid. I'm telling you. We will start there to win the Super Bowl, second best odds, plus 600. To win the NFC, they have the best odds at plus 300. To win the West, minus 190. They have the best odds to win the division. Their win total is at 11.5. Not even going to touch their playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs. But they got a new DC, Nick Sirianni. He got promoted. He was the 49er defensive coordinator assistant last year. You got Shanahan. Obviously, he's the head coach. He calls the plays as well. This is his 7th year with San Francisco. Coming off a 12-5 year. They went to the Super Bowl. Tough loss in overtime. But, kid, I will start with you. Because this is one of the teams where I feel like we could touch on a lot. Super Bowl, NFC West. How are we feeling?
Let's just start. Realistically, I don't think they're gonna win the Super Bowl. I think last year was their opportunity, in my opinion. Can they? Realistically, yes. They're built to right now. We're signing Ayuk. I'm pretty sure they'll get Trent Williams deals done. On paper, staying healthy, they're one of the best teams in football. There's no doubt about it. So out of respect, I gotta sprinkle, the Super Bowl plus 600 and to win the conference at plus 300. But I'm gonna stay away from the win total deal. Don't get me wrong, 12 win is definitely, possible. I just don't love it. Though. I do think the 49ers gonna, I'm not gonna say struggle. I'm just gonna say take a slight step back. I feel like teams are gonna be more prepared to play for them. And overall, though, it's just like I said. I forgot which team I said. I think the Lions. It's gonna be hard to duplicate it. I understand they've been in the Super Bowl 3 out of the last 5 seasons. They didn't win it, but it's just hard to be that successful year in and year out. So I'm gonna just stay away from the win total. I don't think they'll get to 12. Don't get me wrong, I do like the 11, but it's a reason why it's plus, I think 126 for the over, juiced on the under. So I'm gonna just stay away. But I do think the 49ers should be one of the favorites, not just to represent the NFC, but to possibly win it all.
100%. I think they're live to win the division. I think they're live to win the conference again. They got to get over this hump, kid. I agree. I thought last year was the year they were going to get over it, but I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes. This guy never fucking surprises me. They are favored in every game this season. Average favorite by 5.5 points.
Which is crazy. Like,
is it though? Is it though? Look at the schedule, kid.
No, I understand. I'm not disagreeing with it. All I'm saying is this is the NFL. It's the best 32 teams in the fucking planet. You should not be a 5-point favorite against the rest of the league. You shouldn't. You shouldn't be favored in every game. They're not gonna win every game. So
of course, yeah, I know that. I'm just saying, I'm looking at their schedule. It's not a hard schedule. It's ranked 17th in the league, middle of the pack. And I think the first half, they have their bye week at week 9. I think there's a real good chance they start week. 8. Yeah, perfect. I agree. I think they has a good chance of starting 8-1. Maybe 7-2, like you said. The NFL, they might
worst
slip
case
up.
7-2.
Yeah.
The only I'm gonna say possibly 3 losses is at Rams. Slight chance to lose against the Jets at home, which I highly doubt week 1. For the Chiefs, October 20th, and maybe the Cowboys, but at San Francisco, I think that's tough.
The thing is, all of their tough games are at home. Obviously they play the Rams on the road, but you get the Jets at home, you get the Kansas City Chiefs at home, you get the Cowboys at home, you get the Lions at home,
you get the Patriots at home,
you get the Bears at home. The only tough games, the Bills on the road and Green Bay on the road and Green Bay.
Oh, Green Bay.
But that's it. Like, yeah, I would argue from week 12 to 17 is the hardest stretch they have. They're on the road in 3 out of the 5 games, but I think there are a lot of winnable games, kid. I gotta hit the over. I like what they did in the draft. They get my boy Ricky Purcell out of Florida. Go Gators. I just think top to bottom, I said it with the Cleveland Browns. I just think top to bottom, roster-wise, coach-wise, I think they're the best team on paper. They have the best coach. I'll say the second. I can't say Andy Reid's won this back-to-back. He's earned that. And now since Bill Belichick is gone, I think Kyle Shanahan's the second best coach. You got the best running back room. You got the best receiving core, I think. You got the best front 7. Secondary's the top 10. It's not the best, but it's good. Offensive line, top 15. It's obvious. It's honestly, they're ranked 16th in the league. It's the worst unit that they have. And Brock Purdy's already a top 10 quarterback, kid. Like, on paper, this team should run through teams. But I agree. I think they will fall, especially right before the bye. You got 2 tough games back to back. Even week 1 is tough. I do think we'll lose, but I think it'll be a tough game if everyone can stay healthy. But I like the over, kid. Obviously, they fixed the Brandon Ayuk situation. That was a big one. He was probably like their best deep connection too for Brock Purdy. You saw him catch that deep ball in the playoffs. Obviously, they have CMC, Debo, George Kittle. I mean, the weapons, and then you just add a guy like Brandon Ayuk is insane to me. So all the versatility that they have on offense, I love it. And I think Brock Purdy could take a next step. He proved that he could finish the year strong. And I don't think last season, his season was a fluke. He finished first among qualifying quarterbacks in EPA per play, yards per attempt, and touchdown rate. That could obviously be oh, well, he has all that talent. But, I think that also comes down to coaching. Kyle Shanahan is an offensive genius. How many times do we come on the program and say, offensively minded, we think Kyle Shanahan puts his players in the best position? So for that reason, man, I don't think they have a tough schedule. I think they'll lose a few games, but I could see another like 2024 where they went 13-4, even last year 12-5, still get over this number, and it's at plus money, which I like. So I am going to take the over. I do think they'll get into the playoffs. Obviously, I know you do too. Let's go to player props. I want to start with Nick Bosa, best guy on the defensive front for them. 12.25 sacks though for Nick Bosa. Do you like that number?
Do I like it? Yes. Am I gonna bet it? No. Look at me. I think the number's just right. I think he should go over the mark, but let's just be real. Let's just be honest, people. He tends to have somewhat of an injury bug, not as much as his brother, in San Diego. Well, LA.
Shout out San Diego, though. We grew up on that.
Yeah, shout out San Diego, but definitely more durable than Joey. But I'm gonna just stay away from it. I do give him a shot to go over. I love the defense. He's gonna get the opportunities just because it's so much, help outside of him. But I'm just not gonna bet it. Do I think he could get 14, 15 plus? Absolutely. Is he gonna play all 17 games? That's what I'm not betting on.
Yeah, that's the worrisome. He had 10.5 last season, coming off that incredible 2022 where he had 18.5
Defensive
sacks.
Player of the Year.
Can he get back to that? That is my question. Even in 2021,
he can play 17 games. Yeah,
that's the question. Can he stay healthy in 2022? Out for the year as well, and then in his rookie year, he had 9 sacks. I think he can get back to it. I would bank on him to have a better year than he did. He did miss some time last year, and I think that's why he went under the mark. But he plays 6. Not even if he plays all 17. I think if he plays 15. I still think he could get over this number. So I am going to take the over for Nick Bosa and his sack prop. Let's go to their best corner, Tre'Davious Ward.
Real quick. I also think it's worth a sprinkle if he plays all 17, though, at plus 1,000. Defensive Player of the Year. We already know that defense is going to be up there. We know they're going to win a bunch of games. We know they're going to be a top 3 seed in the NFC. I think Nick Bosa at plus 1,000, if he plays all 17, he has a chance to, 1, lead the league in sacks. We know he's very capable of doing it. And 2, if healthy, he's going to cause a lot of havoc. So a plus 1,000, I wish it would have been a better of a number, but I think it's definitely worth a sprinkle for Nick Bosa to win Defensive Player of the Year at plus 1,000.
I love it. I was gonna ask you about it and even put a little pizza bet on it.
Like this. Yeah. I'd rather put a piece of bet on that than put the piece of bet on the over 12.5 sacks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to Tre'Davious Ward, though. I think he is the best corner that they have. His interception prop is at 1.5. The over is at minus 166, plus 130 towards the under. He had 5 interceptions last year, coming off one of his best seasons. He was top 5 in the NFL for that. 2022, he had 1 interceptions, but obviously 2023 was his best season. 2021, he did have 2 interceptions, and he barely went over this number. I know it's chalky. I probably won't bet it since it's minus 166, but I do like the over. I don't think he'll have 5 like he did last year, but I do think he'll get 2.
Yeah, Dale. Me personally, I like him. I'm just not going to bet it just because he did have a high interception number, Dale, but let's not forget, I'm a butcher the name. Tanoa.
Yeah, I know who you're talking. Yeah, Hafuli. Yeah.
Hafuga is one of the best safeties in all of football. He went down early last year. I'm gonna say week 5 or 6, maybe 7, with a season-ending injury, and that's when you start seeing Ward get more of those interceptions, get higher interception mark. Dale, I think we're gonna see Hafua take back control and be that leader in that secondary deal. So I wish his prop was available. I would have smashed his over. Don't get me wrong, Ward is very capable, but with him coming back at that safety position, he's gonna man the secondary. So I think Ward's gonna be back to playing a little more of a man on man, and then Funga is gonna roam free at the safety position, and he's gonna come down and blitz a couple times. You better best believe that.
I'm also glad that they put up Brandon Ayuk's numbers because I was afraid that if they weren't get the deal done, we wouldn't have props to talk about.
His touchdowns wasn't there though.
Yeah, or his receptions, but his yards we can attack. Mm-hmm. It's at 1,000.5, minus 112 both ways. Coming off a 1,300 receiving yard season last year. He was top 7 in the NFL. He had 7 touchdowns as well. I thought the number, if you look at the other guys like George Kittle's at 5.5, Debo's at 4.5. I thought it would be in that range from 4 to 5. I would have liked the over his touchdown. So maybe you find it out somewhere. I couldn't find it. I looked on other books as well. But at his reception prop though, or receiving yards, excuse me, at 1,000, coming off a 1,300 yard season, best season of his career. In 2022, he's had 1,000, just got over 1,015. 2021, 826, and then his rookie season, obviously, he went under 748. So 2-2 towards the over and then 2 toward the under. How do you see him going this year?
Dill, I think the number one recipe for him going back-to-back 1,000-yard season is the man, the myth, the legend, Brock Purdy, Dill.
That's my man!
If Brock Purdy's in there, you could just pencil in Brandon Ayuk, 1,000-yard receiver. And honestly, I think him and Brandon Ayuk has somewhat of a better connection than him and Deebo Samuel does. So I think Brandon Ayuk was definitely the number one wide receiver. Don't get me wrong. Deebo Samuel's, you can honestly say he's the more talented player, more of the dual threat. But we both know Brandon Ayuk is going to be the number one wide receiver on this team. So give me the over 1,000 flat and a half. I'm minus 112. I think he gets for at least 12, 1250. I don't know if he goes to his career high like he did last season, 13 plus. But I'll give him a shot to do it as well. But I think he goes for at least 12 plus. His touchdowns is no prop out there, though. But I'm going to say I think he had 8 or 7 last season and 6 or 7 the year prior. I'm going to say he gets at least 6.
Are you worried that he didn't get any reps this offseason in camp and practice? No, right?
No, you know why? They're coming off 2 deep playoff runs. He's experienced. If he was, let's just say he was going to a new situation, new quarterback, new offensive coordinator, okay, I'd be a little worried. But Kyle Shanahan's still calling the plays. He's been there. He's done that. He knows that. Brock Purdy's been catching balls from him for 2 straight years still. He'll be just fine. All you got to worry about is conditioning. And he's a professional athlete.
Yeah.
I think his conditioning is, and he just got paid 130 M's. His conditioning better be good.
Yeah, exactly. He'll probably go out week 1. Hopefully not week 1 because he plays the Jets, but hopefully
he is.
No. I'm saying he'll probably go out week 1 or week 2 and catch 8 balls for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns, and no one will even fucking talk about him holding out. It's like, oh yeah, Brandon Ayuk's actually a top 10 receiver. Yeah, no fucking shit. So yeah, no, I agree. I think we're gonna see 1,000 yards as long as Brock Purdy is behind center. He'll have a good year.
Think about it. He had 800 with Jimmy G and what's my boy's name? Nick Mullins? No, not Mullins. Yeah,
I think it was Nick Mullins. Shanahan was out there winning games with Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins, yeah.
No disrespect to Nick Mullins, but
he's a legend. My eyes.
Yeah, exactly. So let's go to Deebo Samuel though. 825.5 receiving yards. His receiving touchdowns is at 4.5. Now last year, pretty good year for Deebo Samuel to say the least. 60 catches, 892 yards. He had 7 touchdowns, but also you got to remember they put him out in the backfield as well. He had 225 rushing yards and 5 rushing touchdowns. So he's the ultimate Swiss Army knife. In 2022, he had 632 yards. He's always in between that. I wouldn't go over 825 if I'm being honest, just because they use him a lot in the backfield, and he'll take 200 or 300 of the passing into the rushing game. So I would lay away from it. What I do like though is over 4.5 touchdowns. This guy is a touchdown machine, and once he hits his second gear in open space, 1-on-1, a corner is not tackling Deebo Samuel. I'm sorry. Unless you're Sauce Gardner, you're not tackling him. So a little foreshadow for week 1. But I just think 4.5 is just way too low, kid.
Yeah, Dale, give me the 4.5 touchdowns at minus 158. Yeah, it's a little juice, but it's juice for a reason. He's going to just find the end zone. He's going to be running it. He could be catching it. Deebo Samuel's going to find his way into the end zone, possibly breaking 3, 4, 5 tackles on his way of doing so. His yard total, I'm going to just stay away just because, like I said, you said it best, Dill. He's a Swiss Army knife. He could do running. He could catch it. You got Brandon Ayuk. You got George Kittle. You got CMC who's going to get his touches as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just stay away from his yards, but I guaranteed he's going to have over 10 touchdowns either running or catching the ball.
All right, let's go to George Kittle because I think his props are very interesting. His receiving prop is at 750.5 minus 112 both ways, and his reception touchdowns is at 5.5. Now, George Kittle, a lot of people, I guess, said he had a down year, maybe fantasy wise or whatever. But in Kyle Shanahan's offense, you have to know this when drafting George Kittle. He's expected to block a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they run the ball a lot. I mean, you have to when you have the best running back in the league. And he's one of the best blocking tight ends in the league. Now, he can catch the ball out of Iowa. He had 1,000 yards last season. Let's not overlook that as well. He had 6 touchdowns as well. This guy's a 1,000-yard machine as well. He came close in 2022. He had 765. He had 11 touchdowns that season as well. 2021, he came very close as well with 910. I got to go over 750 yards because I think the number is a little too low. And whenever Brock Purdy doesn't have the connection with Debo or they're not able to run the ball, they are going to throw it to George Kittle. He is their check down. 750 is too low. I would stay away from the touchdown, even though I do lean over at plus money. I like the receiving yards a little more.
Yeah, I'm gonna just stay away from his receiving yards. I do lean his over, though. I do think he'll get around like 850. 800. I don't know about 1,000 this season just because they're all there. But if let's just say, Debo's out 4 weeks, George Kittle is capable of going for 9+ easily. But I'm gonna go over his 5.5 touchdown mark, Dill. I think this number is just about right, and I think the plus money is the one that's getting him to me, Dill. At plus 116, like you said, he had 6 last year and 9 the year prior. I think he gets at least 6 or 7. He's one of Brock Purdy's favorite targets, especially in the red zone, and I think that's where he'll make most of his pudding. Couple deep balls as well, where he just breaks through in the middle and he's uncovered. But I think he'll get most of the touchdowns in the red zone. I think 5.5 is right on.
My thing is, like, when a linebacker is on him, you gotta audible right to George Kittle because a linebacker, no disrespect, but no linebacker can guard this man.
8 out of 10 linebackers can't guard the man. It's some linebackers that run 4.6 still. Let's not all.
Yeah, not all. I guess they're fast, but can they cover? That's my question. Yeah, they could go downhill and crack someone.
Shaquille Barrett could cover him. Not all, but 80% can't.
Yeah, the Jets good. So CJ Mosley, he'll be fine.
Exactly.
Let's go to the guys. CMC. His rushing yards prop is at 1,100.5 minus 112 both ways. His rushing touchdown prop is at 10.5 minus 108 towards the over, minus 118 towards the under. Can we see another 1,000-yard on the ground and double-digit touchdowns, kid? You like that as well?
Yeah, I like the touchdowns more than the yards, but give me the over 10.5 touchdowns, and also give me his receiving touchdowns at 4.5. So I'm taking both his touchdowns props over. He's gonna get in. I think he had 23 last season. I think he had like
20. Oh, what would you say? Total touchdowns, right?
Total touch. I think he had.
He had
16 rushing, 17 rushing, and he
14 on the ground, 7 in the air.
21, 14 on the ground.
Yeah.
10
first in the league.
10.5, a little disrespect. Let's be honest. I think he gets to at least 12 to 13 touchdowns rushing, at least 11. And then receiving wise, I'm gonna at least give him another 5 to 6. He had 7 last year. Let's take a step back. Let's drop it down to 5 or 6. And then his rushing yards, he's going to have 1,000 yards still. Let's just be honest. We know Kyle Shanahan, he's going to run the ball. Even my boy Elijah Mitchell, when he comes back from injury, I guarantee he's going to have a couple 100 yards as well. So I'm all over CMC, Dill. And I'm going to put a sprinkle on it. I know it's not going to matter. But at plus 5,000, I think the man deserved the award last year. I think he's worth a sprinkle this year. Give me plus 5,000 on MVP, and then give me the
not offensive? Okay.
Yeah, offensive player of the year as well at plus 950. But the plus 5,000 people, it just sounds good. But I do think CMC and Tyreek should be the head of offensive players of the year.
Now, take away 2020 and 21 where he got hurt. 2019 he had 13. 2021 and 2022 is where he went over 1,000. If he stays healthy, the guy is an automatic 1,000-yard on the ground. And I think people don't realize how good he is out of the backfield catching the ball. I'm glad you brought that up, him catching the ball, because when healthy, he averaged anywhere from 400 to 500 yards in the passing game as well. So all
He's
those
an
screens,
all-purpose back.
Yeah, 100. One of those old school all-purpose backs that we really don't see anymore. So yeah, I love over everything for Christian McCaffrey. Let's go to the $1 million man, Brock Purdy. His passing yards is at 3,850 and a half, minus 112 both ways. His passing touchdowns is at 28 and a half, and his interceptions is at 9.5. How are you playing Brock Purdy this season?
Yeah, I'm gonna go over 3,850 and a half passing yards. And I'm going to take the over 30 and a half passing touchdowns. Don't get me wrong. I love the yards more than the touchdowns. 38 and a half passing is a lot. I mean, it's 28 and a half. I'm bugging, right?
It's 28 and a half.
28 and a half. Yeah. I typed 38 and a half in my notes. I knew.
Imagine it was 38 and a half.
Rereading, I said, damn, I'm bugging. Nah, but even 28 and a half, they're still a little too high. Don't get me wrong. Is he very capable of doing it? I think he had 31 last year. Absolutely he can. But you got CMC back there. We know Kyle Shanahan loves to run the ball. I understand I just said Deebo Samuel over touchdowns. I understand I just said CMC over touchdowns. I know I just said George Kittle over his touchdowns, 5.5 still. But like I said, I love the yards, taking that over. I'm also taking the over 20 and a half passing touchdowns over. But it's minus 102 for a reason. Out of the two, if you had to just bet one, I bet the yards over.
Yeah, I agree. I'm betting the yards over. I am going to stay away from the interceptions, even though I do think he gets double digit, just because when you're throwing the ball that much with all that volume, you're bound to throw interception here and there. So he plays good pass defenses as well. So I would go over his interceptions. I would stay away from the passing touchdowns. I think it's a little high, if I'm being honest, but I do like the passing yards. Like we just mentioned with CMC, he's going to have 500 to 600 yards. George Kittle, we don't need to go over. We've established already how many weapons this team has. So, yeah, I like the over passing yards, and I do like over interceptions as well. Let's get to anything else on the 49ers before I go to the Rams?
Nah, Dale. I would have touched Kyle Shanahan, Coach of the Year, but realistically, he's not going to get it.
No, I don't think
so. If he haven't gotten it yet, he's never going to get it.
Very interesting LA Rams team. I cannot wait to talk about them. 30-1 to win the Super Bowl. NFC 14-1. The NFC West, they have the second best odds at plus 330. Their win total is at 8.5. Make the playoffs. Kind of a pick 'em. Minus 114. Yes. No. Minus 106.
I got minus 110 both sides.
Oh, that's even better. Yeah. So shop around. We will start. I think they're a year or two away from the Super Bowl. Let's start with the NFC, the conference and the division. Any chance you're giving Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay?
For the conference, no. For the division, a sprinkle. Only is always a chance of injury. The 49ers could have that bug. Who knows? I do think it's the 49ers' division to lose. I know I didn't touch on the subject just because it's so juiced at minus 190. Not going to advise nobody to do it. But at plus 330, we know Matthew Stafford is capable of possibly having a great season. We know he's he's a generational quarterback. Let's just say that. I think at times he could
Hall of Famer?
Absolutely. Yeah. At times he plays like a top 5 quarterback, and at times he plays like a bottom 10 quarterback with all those damn interceptions and turnovers still. But we both know when he's on, he's really on. We know when Sean McVay is calling those plays, dicing them up real energized, he's one of the best play callers in all of football. I understand he gets a little bit of, heat his way just because he'd be a little too much energetic and whatnot, jumping, and he's a young dude. But you can't deny his head coaching and play calling abilities. I think this team improved. I love the draft pick last year, Caleb Williams, Puka Nacua, a healthy Cooper Kupp is a must. I think the defense, I understand they lost Aaron Donald, but overall, especially in the secondary, they're going to be pretty good. I understand Aaron Donald's not there, but overall, the defense ain't as bad as you think it's going to be. Dill, give me a sprinkle to win the division. It's the 49ers division and lose. I'm going to say that again. I'm going to take the over 8.5 win total. It's a little chalky, but I'm going to take the over 8.5 wins and give me to make the playoffs at minus 110.
Everyone was so down on them last season. They go out and win 10 games and they make the playoffs. And I think, again, they are being disrespected. They're favored in 11 games this season. Now, I didn't pick a team to come out of the NFC. This is my team. Give me the Los Angeles Rams to represent the NFC. This is their year, kid. I am high. I knew I was going to give you a shocker, and this is it. I like them. I liked over their win total. I'm going to take them to win the division as well.
What?
Yeah, I love the Rams this season, kid. I think they have a top 5 head coach in Sean McVay, top 10 quarterback at times with Matthew Stafford.
Okay.
I think they have a top 10 offensive line. I think they're going to be able. Karen Williams, being able to steal him was amazing. I love Karen Williams. Receiving, when healthy, they have a top 10 receiving core as well. Mm-hmm. My problem is with the subtraction of a Hall of Famer, one of the best defensive players we've ever seen in our lifetime, Aaron Donald, I worry about them getting home. But I like what they did in the draft, kid. They get the kid out of Florida State, Gerard Verse, in the first round, 19th overall. He was a stud. They go out second. They get another kid, his teammate from Florida State as well, Brandon Fisk, defensive tackle. They are going to get in right away and play. I like them. They get running back help out of Blake Corum, the kid from Michigan. He's going to back up Karen Williams as well. I like the running back room. I think the secondary is a little underrated. They're ranked 20th in the league, but I think they'll perform better than that.
Yeah. They're going to be at least top 15.
My only issue is them getting pressure on the quarterback this year. I think I'm a little higher than most, but I like everything about this team, kid. Offensively, play calling wise, I like their schedule. I don't think they have a tough schedule at all. Mm-hmm. Let me look at it. They are
middle of the pack.
Yeah, middle of the pack. They are, 15th. So middle of the pack, exactly. So I like the over. And last season, I think in the second half, we could tell. I mean, if you're obviously watching the games like Elvis and I, you could tell we've seen an upgrade in play calling and that change in offense with Sean McVay. I don't think he gets enough credit of like the mastermind of how good he is. The passing attack, he puts players in motion all the time. You and I, when we watch football together, how many times is a successful offense always motioning players? Look at Miami. Mike McDonald, always motioning players.
And that's where Mike McDaniels came from. He was the running back coach for Sean McVay.
And look at a team we just talked about, Kyle Shanahan, who's always in motion.
Still, real quick, side note, who they all coached under? Kyle Shanahan, Mike McDaniels, Sean McVay. In Washington under Mike Shanahan.
Wow. Legend.
They all coached Robert Griffin.
And it's crazy. How are all these brilliant minds in a dysfunctional? We should have talked that with Ant and TJ.
Yeah.
All those guys.
How does it feel that you had Mike McDaniels, Sean McVay, and Kyle Shanahan, and none of them is your head coach?
That's all crazy. Those brilliant minds in your room.
And they're all gone. You let them walk.
Yeah, it's insane. You know,
I think to the Rams.
I just think you're good. I just think the adjustments that the Rams made with Matt Stafford, he's more of an efficient quarterback since coming over to LA. And when he led the team end the season 7-1 going into the playoffs, they were one of the hottest. You didn't want to play the Rams, and that was a barn burner. Him and the Lions going back and forth. I love it. I love the Sean McVay, Matt Stafford combination. And, you know, I think one area McVay struggled throughout his coaching career is game management, you know, calling timeouts. But I think it was better. They brought in a game management coordinator, so he's going to be right next to Sean McVay the whole season on the sideline. So hopefully that will improve his decision-making, taking timeouts, going forward on fourth down, because there were a lot of incidents where you're like, damn, you're so smart. You have that photographic memory. You know every play from 2 years ago, but now you're going for it on 4th and 4 on your own 30. It's like some of these are questionable, but I think he got better as the game went on. They go and they bring in a guy as a game coordinator. I think all these things are going to help them. I'm in love with this team, kid. I got to go over. I think they're going to make the playoffs as well, and I think they're going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I thought you was gonna call me crazy for me having them make the playoffs over win total, because I was like, I don't think Dylan's gonna like the Rams as much as I do, because I'm a big Matthew Stafford fan. You know,
me too.
About Sean McVay, and I honestly think they could possibly have the best wide receiving core.
100%.
Well, at least duel in football.
Yeah, I do worry about Tyler Higbee sometimes, but Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, you got Robinson on the outside as well. Tutu Atwell. Tutu Atwell was a sleeper last year in fantasy. I'm telling you, when Cooper got hurt, Tutu Atwell came in clutch. But yeah, I just think there's so many pieces on this team. I trust Matthew Stafford. I trust Sean McVay. I trust the running game as well. I trust the offensive line. I worry about the defense. That is my only pushback, and I understand if they're not able to get pressure on the quarterback, they might be into some trouble. But I like him, kid.
Yeah, but who would you want in a shootout? Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford, absolutely. I think the beginning, like the first 5 games is tough. They have a bye in week 7. After their week bye, rest of the schedule is much easier. Mm-hmm. But they start on the road in Detroit, tough game. Then they're on the road in Arizona. Then they come home and play San Francisco. Then they're on the road in Soldier Field. Then they're home against Green Bay. Four tough games out of 5 games, kid. After that, though, I think there are a lot of winnable games.
Real quick,
yeah.
Do you Rams Colts week 3? I mean Rams Bears. Who win that game?
Week 5, LA is at home.
I got the Rams winning that game, though.
Yeah, I do too. Even though that right now they're 1.5 point underdogs to Green Bay.
You see, you mean to the Chicago?
Oh, Chicago. You said week 4. I thought we were talking week 5. Oh, week 4. Yeah, I have them beating Chicago. The Bears. Yeah, I have them beating the Bears. Just because I guess me and Justin are a little higher on the Bears than you, but I think it's gonna take some time.
Yeah,
it's gonna take some time, and Matthew Stafford is a Super Bowl quarterback already, so he's proven it. I think he'll come out of the gate firing. Let's start with Matthew Stafford. We'll go in a little different direction. We'll start with Matthew Stafford. His passing yards is at 3,825.5. Touchdowns, 23.5. I love the over 23.5. And his interceptions, a little higher than most, is at 11.5. Rightfully so. He does force the ball a little bit too much. But what do you think about Matthew Stafford?
I feel like the over-under touchdown prop is just too low. I think 23.5 with a healthy Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua. I think he's live for over 30. Let's just be realistic, people. And then over 3,825.5. Give me that too. Give me the over on both. If healthy, Matthew Stafford is live to go for 4,500 plus, especially with Sean McVay calling the plays. Especially if they get into a few shootouts, I think Matthew Stafford goes there at least bare minimum 4,000 or 4,200 yards with a shot to get to 45 plus. 23.5 touchdowns. I think it's too low. I understand last year he had a broken thumb or something. He missed 5-6 weeks, and they were still able to sneak into the playoffs when he was coming back. I think they'll be just fine. Give me Stafford over everything but his interceptions. I'm gonna just stay away. He is live to go over that too, but I'm gonna just stay away.
Yeah, he did have 11 interceptions last year. He almost threw for 4,000 yards without Cooper Kupp for most of the season, which is insane to me. So yeah, I think the yards is a little disrespectful. Love the over his touchdowns because I do anticipate Cooper Kupp being healthy this season, and that's just going to add another 5 to 6 touchdowns for him. So yeah, I'm going to take overs 3,800. I think he throws for 4,000 yards this year. I love the over. I'll stay away, but it wouldn't surprise me if he threw for 12, 13 interceptions. I mean, if you're throwing for 4,000 yards, you're going to have a pick here and there. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he did go over that. Let's go to Cooper Kupp, though. His receiving yards is at 950.5, minus 112 both ways. His receiving touchdowns, 6.5, minus 104 towards the over, minus 122 towards the under. And his reception prop is at 77.5 catches. Bounce back season for Cooper Kupp. They need it.
Yeah, I'm gonna touch 2 out of the 3 plays. Give me the over 950.5 yards. I'm leaning that way heavily. If he stays healthy, he's gonna get it. If he's gonna get, nicky knack injuries, I was honestly gonna stay away, Dill, but I was like, you know what? Give me the over. And then I'm gonna take the over receptions. So touchdowns, I'm gonna stay away, but 73.5 receptions, Dill, I think it's a little low. If healthy, Cooper gets 90 plus.
Yeah, even in 22 where he missed some games, he still had 75 catches as well. He had 59 last season and he missed some time. So, yeah, I love him. I love him for fantasy. I think he could be a really good guy for fantasy this year as well. And he's going a little later in a lot of mock drafts than.
Yeah, because Puka's the number one.
Is he?
Yeah.
Are you worried about Cooper Kupp? Let me ask you that. Are you worried that he might get hurt? Because he has. After coming off that Triple Crown year, he has gotten hurt.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm worried about it, but would I be shocked if he misses 4 or 5 games this season? Absolutely not. We saw it last year. It's okay if he takes a step back. Puka Nacua is definitely the true number one for this team. I'm not saying he's better than Cooper Kupp. All I'm saying is we saw him take off with Matthew Stafford in his team last season, and I'm pretty sure he'd be able to duplicate those numbers again, Dill.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to take the over his reception yards. I think he gets back to old Cooper Kupp where he doesn't, even if he misses a game or two, I still think he could get 1,000 yards. I'll stay away from the touchdowns. I agree, but I do think 77.5 catches is very low. Even to your standards, even if he is a number 2, I still think that's a little low. Mm-hmm. Let's get to Puka Nacua. Coming off a crazy rookie season, 1,125.5 receiving yards is this year's receiving prop, -112 both ways. His receiving touchdown, 6.5, same thing as Cooper Kupp's, -108 towards the over, -136 towards the under, and his receptions is at 85.5. Sophomore slump for Puka Nacua?
I don't know about that, Dill, but over 1,125.5 definitely go in there. The kid had 1,400, basically 1,500 yards his rookie season alongside Cooper Kupp. I understand Cooper Kupp got hurt, but the first couple of weeks of the season, Cooper Kupp was there, people, and Puka Nacua was putting up those same numbers. Mm-hmm. Dill, he had 105 receptions last year.
I know, that was insane.
Damn near 1,500 yards. The only number I'm not going to touch is the touchdown mark, just because Cooper Kupp is there. Maybe those numbers go more towards him. We'll see. But 1125.5, I think this number is too short. I think Puka Nacua maybe not go for damn near 1,500, but at least 1,250 plus still. And then I have faith in the kid. Give me plus 2,300 to lead the league in receiving. I'll give him a shot. Don't get me wrong. I think Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson all alive for this award. Absolutely. But if, let's just say 2 or 3 of them, miss a game or 2 or just have a couple bad games, we know Matthew Stafford is going to sling it. We know Sean McVay is going to call those plays. Puka Nacua, I think, is worth a sprinkle at plus 2,300 to lead the league, though.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, if that happens, yeah, we're going all the way to the Super Bowl, kid. My ticket is live for the Super Bowl at that point. But yeah, what a fucking rookie season this kid have. Took advantage of the opportunity he had. He was top 10 in virtually everything. 105 catches. He had 1,400 yards.
Is crazy.
And it's the kid came out of nowhere. 5th round pick, 177 overall. A kid out of BYU. Like, what? I mean, the great job drafting him and Kyren Williams. I mean, they came out of fucking nowhere, kid.
And their 4th or 5th, 6th round pick this year might be a fucking stud too. Who knows? We'll find out in just 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, so they didn't have a 4th round pick, but 3rd round pick, they took Blake Corum. They took a safety after that out of Miami.
Watch out for the safety.
And then in the 5th round, they took a defensive end out of Washington State, Brandon Jackson. He's going for 14 sacks. Yeah,
over sacks right now.
Yeah, he's going crazy. But yeah, I just can't imagine, even if Cooper Kupp takes away some of those catches, he's still gonna go over 85.5. He's their number 1. He's the more aggressive. He's the bigger receiver as well. I think he's more of a threat in the red zone as well. So, yeah, I'm going to take Puka Nacua over his receptions and his receiving prop. I think he gets anywhere. I don't know if he gets 1,400 again, but I think he gets anywhere from 1,200 to 1,300 receiving yards. So I'm going to take over that. Stay away from his receiving touchdown. I think there's a lot of mouths to feed, and I think they're actually going to run the ball a little more with Kyren Williams this season. Let's go to Kyren Williams, though. Over under his rushing prop is at 925.5, -112 both ways, and his rushing touchdown prop is at 8.5. The under is favored at -118. Sophomore slump for Kyren Williams.
I doubt it, Dill. He ran the ball at an elite level. The man missed what, four or five games? Still ran for 1,100 plus, 12 touchdowns. Dill, give me the over. I'm taking his touchdowns over 8.5. I love that one at -108. His total yards. Don't get me wrong. Do I think Jake Curran gonna take a little bit? Do I think he's gonna get the attempts? I do think so, Dill. But I do think Caleb Williams has another great season. I'm gonna take the over 8.5 touchdowns. I think he possibly goes for 10 plus, and his total yards. I like it. I just don't love it.
Yeah, I mean, the kid rushed for he was top 5 in the league. He rushed for 1,100 yards last year, 228 carries. And you might think that's a lot, but that was 13th in the league. He wasn't even top 10 in carries.
Games.
Yeah, that's what.
Games.
If he stayed healthy, he would have been top 10 in everything. I think he's going to be healthier. There's no reason he shouldn't get 1,000 yards behind that offensive line. It's a top 10 borderline, top 12 offensive line. I think he will get it. So I would love I think he goes back to back 1,000 yards. Touchdowns, I'll stay away. I know he had 12 and they pound him at the goal line, but they did get Blake Corum for a reason. Just God forbid he does miss another 4 games. They could rely on Blake Corum, who is an experienced. He played all 4 years at the University of Michigan. It pains me, but he is a good running back. So I think it's a good fit for them. So he might take some of those touchdowns away from him. Stay away from the touchdowns, but 925.5. The market is telling you he's on borderline 1,000-yard back. So yeah, I love that. I mean, they drafted him out of Notre Dame, 5th round, 164 overall. I mean, they are just striking gold in the 5th round. But that's all I got, kid, for the Rams, the NFC champion Rams, kid. What else you got?
That's all I got.
You're not as surprised as I thought you would be.
No, because I like them. It's not. I'm not saying they're gonna win the NFC, but
would it surprise you if they did?
No, injury here, injury there. At the end of the day, I told you the weaker conference is the NFC. I have 3. I have the Eagles, the Packers, and the Niners, and I give the Lions a shot to represent the NFC. That's it.
I love it. I fucking love it, kid. Well, we are down to our last 2 teams, the Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks, and we will take care of that on Monday's episode. And kid, next week, we are here Thursday Night Football. And for the moment I've been waiting for all season. College football, games. Like I said, in Morgantown, you got Penn State coming into Morgantown for the first time in 28 years. Country Road, take me, bro. They are going to be burning chairs in Morgantown if they win tomorrow. Georgia, Clemson tomorrow as well. One thing I fucking hate is that they are playing in the Mercedes Dome. Play in Athens, Georgia.
I hate that they're playing at 12. Should have been at least a 3:30 game.
But why is it Why is it a dome football? Go to Athens, Georgia, and play at the university. Don't fucking play at the Falcon Stadium. That pisses me off. It's college.
I understand, Dill, but they're trying to have 80, 90,000 people attend the game.
That's too corporate. They want politicians and all their fucking money. That's my old man take, but I don't like that they're doing that. It's tradition. This year they play in Athens. Next year they'll go to Clemson, play at the university. I understand you're not going to fit as many people as you would at the Mercedes Arena, but it's all. And also what I hate in college football too is the 2-minute warning. We already have it in the NFL. I don't need a 2-minute warning. We understand it's 2 minutes. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. That's the one thing I hate too. So anyway, big shout out to Rutgers, though, last night. Covering the 36 on a late touchdown against Howard. Oh, you gotta love it. College football is here, kid. But yeah, there's like 60, 70 games. I'll let you lead it off because I got a bunch that I'll roll through. But what do you like first?
Yeah, real quick, week 1, I'm not gonna go too heavy on it. Dylan usually take over this subject, and I let him do his thing. My 3 quick plays to just start off the weekend, Dylan. Let's start it off 7 o'clock. Alabama taking on. I don't even know who this is. Who are they taking on, Dill?
Alabama.
Yeah.
Who does it say? I'm not touching that game.
It's WKU. I'm trying to find the school name.
Oh,
Western Kentucky.
Yeah, Western Kentucky.
I'm gonna lay with 31.5. Like I said, I don't even know what the school name is.
Jesus.
I'm gonna lay the 31.5. As of right now, it's at 32. Money's going my favor. My next play, Notre Dame taking on Texas A&M. Respect to Notre Dame, I don't think they should be a top 17 in my opinion. Give me Texas A&M. I'm gonna lay the 3 minus. Right now it's a -2.5. Money's going that way, people. I'll take the -2.5 as well. Go Texas A&M. I think the upset is coming. First upset of college football will be at Texas A&M. And then my last play of the day will be a road team. LSU taking on USC in Cali. As of right now, they're -4 still. I'm going to lay it with the Tigers. Give me the Tigers, -4, -4.5, whatever number you could get, people.
That game has been all over the place. It opened up at 3, the Tigers. Then it went up all the way to 7. Now it's back down to 4.
It should be 6. Come on. Tigers are better. Let's be honest. If they were playing in Baton Rouge still, it'll be at least a 7.5.
I think both of their defenses fucking suck. And I think we're going to see a shootout. Brian Kelly and Lincoln Riley, 2 great offensive minds. I think we'll see a shootout there. I stayed away from that, but I got a ton. I'll rattle them off. I got some plays here for Friday as well. Starting a few hours, actually. Lehigh, +33.5. This is so un-American of me. I'm taking the +33.5 against our Army, against one of our military services. That's just un-American in itself. That probably will lose. I'm going to lay 42 today with Oklahoma against Temple. Temple might be the worst team in Division I football. Oklahoma is going to kill them. I'm going to take Western Michigan +24.5 against the Badgers tonight. That is going to be a hell of a game. Wisconsin is a good thing. I want to see how Luke Fickell does. New University. He's a winner, but Western Michigan is a good team as well. And then to cap off tonight, TCU -7.5 on the road against those nerds in Stanford. Going the other way, though. Money has come in on TCU, so it's up to, I think, -9, -8.5 right now. So I got a good number, but I'll still lay it here with the Horned Frogs. And then over the weekend, Saturday, I like Virginia Tech. They return the most starters in all of Division I. They're going to be good this year. I like their over win total 7.5. I think they blow out Vanderbilt on the road. I'm going to lay it with Georgia -13.5. I think that defense is going to come to play. I think Clemson might have a tough time. Sweeney, and when everyone doubts Dabo Sweeney, here they come. So I'm going to take Georgia -13.5. Kent +24 against Pittsburgh. West Virginia +8.5. Sprinkle a little on the money line. They are going to upset those pussies from Penn State. Give me South Dakota State +9.5 to Jackrabbits. We saw the FBS schools and how they performed against FBS schools. I like the Pokies in Oklahoma State, but 9.5 is too much. South Dakota State has been in the FBS playoffs and leading offense for about 3 years in a row now. Watch out for them. Let's go to the Swamp. Florida taking on Miami, the U. Fuck Mario Cristobal. He has never been in the Swamp before. Hostile environment. Give me the Gators +3, baby.
I love it.
I sprinkle a little on the money line.
I love it, though. I love it.
Give me Syracuse -17.5 at home against Ohio. I like Georgia Southern +13 at home against Boise State. I'm going to lay the 2.5 with A&M. I think they are a sneaky team to win the national championship this year. A lot of NIL money. They got one of the best offensive lines in college football. Watch out for the 12th man down in College Station. I'm going to lay the 2.5. I like Notre Dame, but I think this is a tough test. Week 1 on the road in College Station. It's going to be a loud environment. So, yeah, I'm going to give it to the home team. And then last 2 plays, I'm going to take – this is based on principle. As an Ohio State guy, I have to fade Michigan. Give me +21 for Fresno State. They might lose 24-3, but we
don't advise the people to spend their hard-earned money on Fresno State. I apologize, people. Dylan's being biased. Fresno State is good. But we're talking about the team up north. I respected it by not calling the name. I'm gonna just say the team up north. They'll show some respect.
They lost Harbaugh. They lost their quarterback. They lost their running back. Yes, they'll be a good team. I don't doubt that. But hey, honestly, they might beat the bricks off of Fresno State. But
like I said, for the people listening,
I'm going to take 21 points in my pocket with Fresno State, baby.
I don't love that one, but everything else I love.
Last game, we will go out to the island. Give me the plus 14.5 with Hawaii and the Rainbow Warriors against UCLA. UCLA lost a lot of guys in the draft on defense. They didn't play the best game against Delaware State. They weren't the most accurate, but I think at home, it was a look-ahead spot towards this game. I think they're going to come out ready to play. So I'll take the 14.5 with Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, kid. I know you like them, except the Fresno State one, kid, right?
Yeah, besides Fresno State, just because you gotta be realistic. Can't be biased on here. You see the sign, people. I'm a Patriots fan. You see the helmet, and I'm telling you right now, with Jacoby Brissett, we're not going nowhere fast. Even with Drake May, we're not going nowhere fast.
Wow.
But at least we can play in the future with Drake May.
All right, kid, let's get to the MLB slate. We already had one game off go out in the afternoon. It was the Brewers took care of the Reds, so we're off to a winner already with the Brewers. But 15 games on the slate for tonight. Why don't you rattle off what you have?
Dale, my first few games. Well, for tonight, I didn't really touch, but I have some opinions real quick. I have plays for tomorrow. But
perfect.
Yeah. I like the Red Sox tonight, minus 120 with Hawk on the mound against Detroit. I like the Brew Crew against Cincinnati. I like Suarez. Don't get me wrong. I think the matchup against Robin Lopez and Raul Suarez in Philly tonight, I think that's the marquee matchup of tonight. I'm going to stay away, but I do lean Philly on the money line. I don't get why for tonight the Padres are plus 105 against the Tampa Bay Rays. I understand Bradley's on the mound. Tampa, they're at home, but Dill, you're not going to tell me, Vegas is not going to tell me Tampa deserves to be a 125 favorite against one of the hottest teams in baseball in the Padres. So those are my two official plays. I'm going to take the Red Sox minus 120 in the money line. I'm going to take the Padres plus 105. And that's about it for today, Dill. And then I got some plays for tomorrow.
All right, yeah, for tonight, I didn't look at the board just yet for tomorrow, but I love the the Braves here at that plus money price. I mean, he's been dealing in his 2 starts against the Phillies, 0.82 ERA, only 1 run given up, 16 strikeouts in 11 innings. I would look towards a strikeout prop for Ronaldo Lopez. I love the Braves at the dog price. I like the Red Sox. I'll say it's a short number. Casey Mize coming back off the 60-day DL, so I do like to fade guys coming off. The guy hasn't pitched in 2 months. Red Sox should win this game. Don't know if they will with that bullpen, but I do like them as well. Padres, I made him the favorite. I mean, Martin Perez, say what you want, but he's looked good since coming over from Pittsburgh. They won all of his starts as well. And Taj Bradley, I'm high on Taj Bradley. I think the future is bright for the young kid, but he has not looked good. 5 starts. He's given up 23 runs in 26 innings. They don't hit righties all that well either. I think this is a great spot for the Padres, so I like them. Fading the Yankees, I would not take Marcus Stroman here at home. What else do I like? I kind of lean the Rangers on the run line just with that plus price. I thought it was good. What else do I have? Mets team total. I think they're going to be able to get to Jonathan Gannon. I love the D-backs. There's another dog I like. I like the D-backs. Zach Gallen at home. I mean, I feel like Clayton Kershaw is just getting respect just based on his name and not really what he's done on the mound. I don't think he's done anything to ride home about. Doesn't strike out a ton of batters. Walks can be an issue for him. So Zach Gallen is a guy you want to back at home. I think the Snakes bounce back after a loss to the Mets. I think this is a good spot for them. So, yeah, I'm going to take a couple dogs I gave out. The dogs are barking, but I do like some plays here for Friday. And then what do you got for Saturday, kid?
Yeah, I love it. Tomorrow I'm taking the Padres once again with Vasquez on the mound, taking on Shane Baz. don't get me wrong, I don't love Vasquez, but like I said, I just feel like the Padres are just a much better club. They lost 2 straight. I expect them to take care of business and possibly sweep Tampa Bay Rays and Tampa. And then my second play will be 7:15 start. Milwaukee Brewers taking on Cincinnati Reds. As of right now, no pitcher named for the Reds, but the Reds are struggling. 1-5, 1-4 in their last 5, and the Brewers won 3 straight. They got my boy Frankie Montez on the mound. I know you don't love Montez that much still, but I do expect the Brewers to take care of business on the road. So give me the Brewers on the money line -124. And that's about it just for tomorrow. I'll lean the Red Sox as well tomorrow as well with Nick Privetta. But you got Screwball going for the Tigers. So you gotta give respect there. I'll lean the Rangers, but -144 on the money line is too high. And to be honest, though, I will lean the run line with the Mets with Quineta on the mound, but I'm gonna just stay away.
Yeah, it is worrisome that they're that big of a favorite. Let's go to the WNBA though, kid. Some nice games here tonight. You got Angel Reese taking on Caitlin Clark. You got the best covering team, Minnesota, on the road taking on one of the worst defensive teams in Dallas. Aces at home looking to get into the playoffs against the Dream. And then a really good game at the nightcap, the Liberty and Seattle, 2 teams that are probably going to be in the playoffs. Only 3 teams, like I said, that have locked in. You got the Liberty at the 1 seed, Minnesota, very good year for Minnesota at the 2 seed, Connecticut at the 3. And you got Seattle at 4 right now, Vegas at 5, Fever 15. They're 7-3 in their last 10. Game could come down to who wins Rookie of the Year, kid. What do you think here for Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark? Right now, the Fever are 6.5-point favorites on the road. Now, Angel Reese has been playing really good, but they're losing a lot.
Yeah, Angela Reese is putting up some great numbers, but it's not leading to victories. Caitlin Clark in this Indiana team,
they're winning. Yeah,
winning 7 out of the last 10, and since the Olympic break, they look like a much better team. To be honest, though, I said this a couple of times. The first 8 to 10 games of the season, where we saw Indiana struggle, this is totally different team now, Dill. So I'm gonna go with the Fever -6.5 on the road. Don't get me wrong, I like Chicago. They definitely got that size, but you can't deny how well the Fever, just overall the team, how well they've been playing as of late. And then I'm gonna take Minnesota -8 on the road. Minnesota's just been one of the best teams in all of the W. I honestly don't even remember the last time they lost a game. Seattle against New York, I'm gonna just stay away. That should be a great game.
Yeah.
And then I'll lean the 10.5 with the Aces against the Atlanta Dream.
I love it, kid. I fucking love it. Good luck tonight. That's going to do it for this Friday edition. We'll be back. Like I said, we're back to 3 times a week. Yeah, any last words before the weekend, kid? Any big plans for this weekend for college football, or what do you got going on?
Nah. Tomorrow's my niece's birthday party.
Oh,
Her
nice.
birthday is a day prior than mine, August 28th. So happy birthday to my beautiful niece, Alaya Faith Gonzalez. I love you, baby girl. I hope tomorrow it's gonna be a zoo at her birthday. And then, I hope everybody that's listening and watching, just enjoy yourselves the weekend. Please do me the favor. Enjoy college football. No need to drink and drive. Enjoy your day off on Monday. Enjoy your last real day of summer and go off with a bang without drinking and driving, people. Thank you.
Now, we got a bunch of Virgos in your family, kid. I like that. I like that. My grandfather was a Virgo. I get along with Virgos, which
we're good people.
Yeah, stand-up people. Yeah, great people. Now, tone has changed a little bit, and my energy has changed a little bit because you kind of just struck a chord. I mean, obviously, a lot of people have heard about Johnny Gaudreau this morning, the hockey player, and yeah, I can't believe we're still in 2000. We're in a society in 2024 where we're still drinking and driving. I truly don't understand, and I feel like I'm a smart enough kid to realize, the right thing. We both were raised by great parents, and we could tell right from wrong. But people still go out every day and drink and drive, and Johnny Gaudreau is a New Jersey native, and I didn't even plan on speaking about this, but it really caught my attention this morning. I woke up with awful news, and I thought I read it wrong, but Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew both died this morning or last night by a drunk driver. They were in New Jersey visiting a wedding that their sister was getting married. And now, obviously, the whole family is in turmoil. They got the guy, but it doesn't even matter. I mean, they lost the children, his sister, they lost their two brothers. Yeah, I mean, I was literally lost of words in the morning. And, now they have to bury their husband, their brother. Johnny had two children, Johnny Jr., Elias as well. And it was just awful, kid. I remember a few years ago, I think 3-4 years ago, he was a free agent, and me and my dad were like, yo, we got to get Johnny Gaudreau. Like, they call him Johnny Hockey, like Johnny Football. They call him Johnny Hockey. He's a New Jersey native, and it was between the Columbus Blue Jackets and the New Jersey Devils, and Columbus gave him an extra year and a little more money. So, credit him. He deserves all the money he got and everything. So I love Johnny Gaudreau, man, and it's just awful that you just really never know. 31 years old. His brother was a number 3 overall prospect. He was on his way to the league as well. And yeah, it's very sad, very sad. So yeah, like Elvis said, man, please do not drink and drive this weekend. It's okay to go and have a good time, but just don't drink and drive. Just do the right thing. Everyone knows the right thing. And yeah, just very upsetting. But yeah, kid, I just wanted to say that. I wish all the Gaudreau family that my thoughts and prayers. But anything, I guess did I miss anything or anything you wanted to add on that real quick?
It's just unfortunate. I always say, for the loyal listeners, I always say during a holiday episode, please don't drink and drive. And this is one of the many reasons why. It's just unfortunate that this happened in our home state of New Jersey. And now you're gonna have 2 kids grow up with a father. You're gonna have a sister now have her 2 brothers at the wedding. You got a mother, a father grieving. It's just unfortunate. So I can't stress it enough, people. Please, there's services out there. Uber, Lyft, all this, all that. A friend.
I guarantee you, if you hit up E in the DMs, he'll pay for your Uber. I'll pay for your Uber. Yo, literally.
Bro, if you send me a video, you're shit faced, so you ain't got no way to get home, bro. DM me. It's Elvis on IG. I'll get you home. Anywhere in America. Don't call me if you're in Russia. But respectfully. If you're anywhere in America and your Uber ride away and you're able to get an Uber, hit me up, man, and I got you. Please don't drink and drive.
Thank you so much, E. On that note, we are done. We are out of here. That's going to do it for this Friday edition. Everyone have a great weekend. Good luck on your bets. God bless. And we will see you guys on Monday. Peace.